Barcelona's pre-season adventure in Asia reached a thrilling grand finale in Seoul, where the team dismantled Daegu FC 5-0 with the kind of dominant, free-flowing football that had fans on the edge of their seats. Yet, amid the roar of celebration, a sudden moment of worry momentarily drowned out the cheers. 17-year-old centre-back Pau Cubarsi, fresh from weaving through Daegu's attack like a shadow on the pitch, suddenly staggered and clutched at his right leg. What began as pure elation swiftly morphed into collective concern as the teenager signalled urgently for a substitution. Would this rising star's season slip away before it had even begun? As whispers rippled through the camp, new faithful texts chained back home, reliable sources at Mundo Deportivo raced to reassure supporters that the scare was nothing more than a powerful knock to Cubarsi's left knee. According to the initial findings, the youngster had escaped the city of Seoul with neither torn ligaments nor fractured bone, just a bruising collision strong enough to cramp his stride. The technical term, a contusion, might sound clinical, but behind it lay the relief of a club that simply could not afford to lose another cornerstone at this delicate stage of preparations. Was it all just a precautionary dance around disaster? The answers they promised would arrive soon. On the pitch, Cubarsi tried to soldier on, each limp-legged step betraying the resilience he'd shown throughout youth team battles. You could see the wariness in his eyes. The pain shot through him like a sudden thunderclap, yet his will to stay on the field burned brighter. He waved at the bench, first a small gesture, then a desperate plea, until the coaching staff had no choice but to honour his request. It was in that instant, as he slowed to a halt, that time seemed to stretch. Every heartbeat was a countdown. Would Cubarsi's season come to a grinding halt before the whistle for the competitive campaign? The thought sent a chill even through Seoul's summer air. Head coach Hansi Flick, normally composed as the eye of a storm, could not hide his discomfort. He pressed both hands to his face, as though shielding his own shock from the hostile glare of what-ifs. Within seconds, Flick made the call that underlined the club's zero-risk philosophy. Hector Fort, another promising talent, dashed onto the turf in Cubarsi's stead. The substitution was more than a tactical tweak. It was an unmistakable signal that Barcelona would guard its young lions at all costs. You could almost hear the silent vow, and no heroics at the expense of long-term health. And yet one question lingered in every spectator's mind. Could the team maintain its rhythm after such a jolt of anxiety? Off the pitch, the scene shifted to the sideline treatment area, where club doctors and physios hovered protectively around Cubarsi. Against the backdrop of ventilators whispering and water bottles clinking, the defender's measured care felt like the gentle pulse beneath a harried heartbeat. Then came the best sign of all. The teenager rose, flexed his knee, and walked off the patch of grass under his own power, as if testing a newly tuned instrument. That simple act of mobility, echoed by the crunch of turf under his studs, spoke volumes. Bruising had struck, but broken bones had not. It was a moment of quiet triumph, a breath held then released in global bark of fan groups from Park Gu to St Andrew. For a club that lives and breathes silverware, the timing of such scares is never convenient. Barcelona's scouts and staff had spent months mapping out strategic rotations, consensus picks, and youth promotions, all schematics threatened by any long-term absence of a defender they view as a linchpin. Cubarsi, paired alongside veteran Inigo Martinez, was earmarked to bolster a backline that will be tested in El Clasico and European night. An extended layoff for the Spaniard would have forced tactical reshuffles and wrist fatigue for senior players. But as the physio's thumbs released their final press, the picture brightened. It was a bump in the road, not a roadblock. Still, in football, one can never fully relax. Every bruise, every pulled muscle carries its own drama, and fans will be watching closely when Cubarsi next steps onto the Camp Nou turf. Will he glide across the grass with the same assured stride, or will the memory of Seoul's scare linger like a ghost at a banquet? Barcelona's medical team insists on further scans and light training in the coming days, a cautious choreography before speed action resumes. The young defender's path back to first-team action may weave through gradual sessions and small-sided drills, each step a measured beat in the cadence of recovery. As the sun set over Seoul's glittering skyline, Barcelona left Asia with more than goals to celebrate. They claimed a reassuring victory over anxiety itself. The 5-0 scoreline will fade in memory, but the true takeaway is a club's refusal to gamble with its future. Be it all, Cubarsi's knock proved nothing more than a bruise upon flesh, not spirit, and as supporters in Catalonia prepare for the season's launch, they do so knowing that one of their brightest prospects remains on course. The question now echoing in training grounds and fan forums alike is this: after touching the edge of concern, how swiftly will the young lion roar again?